Hey friends, welcome back to episode 111, and I'm so excited. Okay, I say that every week, but trust me, you're going to hear in my voice how excited I am about this episode because it's with Francesca, also known as Hey Fran Hey from the Friend Zone podcast. I'm so grateful that she took the time to record with me and drop some serious gems. It was a really fun conversation. But before we get started with the show and with Fran, I wanted to update you guys on the Mixed Minds Book Club. This month we're reading or listening to Lost and Found by Sarah Jakes Roberts. And it's her story about finding hope in the detours of life. And I can relate to this book so much. So basically, Sarah speaks about how her dreams changed dramatically when she became pregnant at the age of 13. And I'm not sure if you knew this or not. I didn't know when I first read the book or when I first, heard about her. So it was a reality only compounded by the fact that her father is Bishop T.D. Jakes. He's one of the most influential megachurch pastors in the nation. So she became a teen mom with she's a high profile preacher's kid. Her road was very, very lonely. She was shunned by the school, gossiped about at church. Can you relate to that? That happened to me, and I have had my issues with church growing up because of it. Then a few years later, she had a fairy tale marriage that ended very bad with a lot of hurt and rejection, and she could have allowed this pain, to bring her down, but she didn't. So this is her story. Lost and Found is actually an amazing book. So if you want to join the book club, you can do so by going to patreon.com/shit-I'm30. We're meeting on April 30th to talk about the book and, give our experiences. The ladies that are in this group are amazing. But if you don't really want to join and you want to read the book yourself, you can do so for free. You can listen to it narrated by her on Audible with a 30-day free trial for the listeners of Shit I'm 30. So just go to audibletrial.com/shit-I'm30. Again, that is audibletrial.com/shit-I'm30, and you can get the book for free. Now let's get this show started with Hey Fran Hey. Welcome to the Shit I'm 30 podcast. This is the weekly show where we discuss and share our unfiltered opinions on topics such as mental health, relationships. Sometimes it gets a little kinky and we talk about sex, parenting, and so much more. With me, your host, Carla Ramirez. Now, my goal is to get rid of society's expectations about where we should be when we're in our 30s and just free ourselves to live the lives that we've always dreamed of. Now, friends, remember, it is never too late. Welcome back, guys, to another episode. Today, I'm doing an episode that I've been wanting to do probably since the beginning of time. And now, I'm not going to say thanks to the Rona, because we were supposed to do it last time I was in New York, and there was a storm. And I couldn't go to Brooklyn, but the amazing Hey Fran Hey, Francesca is here with me today.
So happy to be here. Finally, we got it together.
I know. Like all summer, I'm like, oh, she's just busy. She's too cool. She's never going to record with me.
No, I was excited. Remember, I was like, come to my house.
I know. No, literally, like I remember telling Wax when I was at his house, I'm like, I'm going to record with Fran. He's like, didn't we have plans? I said, listen. I'm going with Fran, and we're going to record, and I'm going to get all the energy from her plants and shit, okay? You let me go. I'll see you later. I'm taking the car.
I had your mug of tea waiting for you. Oh. The incense was burning. I was going to have you good.
The weather was so bad, and I got scared because I'm not the greatest since I don't know where I'm going. Mm-hmm. And I know New York can get crazy. People drive crazy.
Right.
I'm okay with it, but then I'm like, in this storm, nah.
Right.
Let me take a break.
Yeah, no,
but
it wasn't worth
thanks
it.
to Corona, we all have more time than we usually would.
We have no choice now.
We have no choice. We're like, let's just have a few conversations. So before we get started, I do want to talk about, I have a conference coming up this weekend. Oh, actually, I'm not. I'm taking that out because it's coming out after that. Just kidding. Mm-hmm. We'll just go ahead and get started with the shit you should know. So this is just a segment where I like to read the news, and I actually my therapist told me years ago to stop reading the news in the morning and stop reading the news at night. It's part of the reason why I'm so anxious.
Right, yeah.
But I do enjoy reading what's going on, but it's not good for me. So I've like cut back on it.
So wait, have you moved it to like a different part of your day?
So I just do it now whenever I try to not turn on the news, and I just won't read. I won't go into the news as much unless I'm looking for something.
Got you.
Mm-hmm. And I tried to, I unfollowed CNN, BuzzFeed News, like all the news from my Instagram.
Got you.
Because it really does they just put out there all the negative things.
And then it's consistently all day. So you're getting all this stimulus, and it's like heavy.
Every hour
on
the hour, you're getting news. And it's the same news over and over again. But with everything that's going on now, and now I have, when I'm doing the show, I'm like, oh, that's the time for me to go read the news and find an article that's interesting to me. So because we're going through this whole coronavirus thing, pandemic, I found an article from CNBC talking about that this pandemic could inflict emotional trauma and PTSD on an unprecedented scale.
Man.
So the scientists were warning of it.
Yeah.
And I told you that I'm sitting here cooped up with Wax and Ayana, but I started thinking a lot about people like you in New York.
Mm-hmm.
We sit here and he goes in the backyard. He's in the shed. We live on a lake, or I live on a lake.
Oh,
so he goes to the lake to go fishing. Right.
Oh my God.
He goes fishing. Ayana can go outside. We were jump roping in the backyard. We have a lot of room. In places like New York, because I know there's others, or people that live in apartment complexes, you're cooped up in a small area.
Right.
You have to go in an elevator where other people use the elevator.
Right.
You have to go on a train where there's a ton of people. So they're saying that they're warning it that it can cause a long-lasting emotional trauma. And here it says that it has combined mental health stressors that have been studied before in other disasters, but have never been consolidated into a global crisis.
Right.
So it's left millions without jobs, sent billions into isolation, and has forced nearly everyone on Earth to grapple with the feeling that they or those they love are suddenly physically vulnerable. So the nature of the disease means that there can be no certainty about when the worst will pass. And we really don't know now. As of yesterday, we found out that now it's till April 30th.
Is that what they said? Because I feel like it keeps changing every day.
Yesterday, Trump signed, or is about to sign now, where he's demanding the isolation until April 30th. Remember, he said that we would be up and running till Easter?
Right. Yeah.
He said, fuck Easter. Now he's looking at June 1st.
Wow.
He's now saying June 1st. So April 30th, it's still now the mandatory, which means that now Ayana was supposed to go to school April 14th, and now it's not till April 30th. And today's our first day of like homeschooling.
Oh my goodness.
I know. So when we think of PTSD, I feel like we think of World War II. We think of shootings. We think of like these things that we go through, like sexual traumas. But this is about to be probably bigger. Yeah. Because it's a pandemic than any of that for their society.
Yeah, and also I'm trying to remember if it's called, is it agoraphobia, where you have a fear of going outside? Mm-hmm. I can imagine that a lot of people are going to be feeling that way for a while. Because think about it, even if he says April 30th, which very well may change because we don't know, right. You think most people are going to be comfortable just because he decided that now we can go outside? A virus is a virus, so most people are going to be so anxious on the train. I can see people anxious at work. A friend of mine were even talking about how that's going to change the way that people are affectionate towards each other, like handshakes, hugs. Like now you're going to have that slight pause, you know?
Yes, that human interaction that we usually have, human touch.
Yeah, that's so, comfortable with your friends and people you love. Now there's going to be that slight thing of like, ooh.
Even like in the Spanish culture, everybody's saying un besito right there on the cheek.
Yes, kissing everybody all day, so even we share our drinks, and when you're in the house, like things like that. Right. I just wonder how that's gonna affect how we interact,
especially parents with kids sending them to school. Are they going to send them back to school?
Right.
You don't know who these kids are around all day long, what their parents do, what they don't do. We're usually worried about maybe sexual diseases or maybe a cold, but something like this. Now we're seeing families. Like whole families die.
Right. Oh
I
my
think
God.
It was one in Jersey.
Yes, the Italian family. It was like 4 members.
Sad. Yes, 4 whole members of the family of 7 or 8 or whatever. It was like half of them just gone.
Oh my goodness.
Off of this virus. And I'll be the first one to say that I didn't take it that serious. I did a whole shit talk on it a couple of weeks ago. I'm like, it's just the flu. It's the worst kind of the flu. It's just a strain we don't know about. Which, I mean, really, it's what it is.
Right.
And I'm still sitting at home not scared. For some weird reason, I'm not scared.
I mean, I'm not scared either, just because it's out of our control in a lot of ways. And I think being scared is sort of draining your energy unnecessarily. Like, you have the choice. Am I going to sit here and panic? Is that helpful? Is that useful? No, I can also just try not to. And I've been using the time to focus on things that maybe my schedule didn't really allow for. Like, and different levels. Like there's work I wanted to do, but there's also fun stuff I wanted to do, like you know, learning to play the guitar, like anything. You know, I've just been like picking up all kinds of projects hobbies now, because I mean, we got the time now.
We have time that people we always dreamed of.
Right.
We begged for, we cried for. We used to have anxiety and have all these moments like, I just wish I had a day. I wish I had a week. Just if God just give me a week.
And now you have 60 of them.
60 days. And that's one of those things, because I know that I tell everyone that you meditate, drink water, and eat oxygen. That's it. Like, right. Or like plants. You're like the purest form of human. So I wanted to ask you, and you just said it, how are you staying grounded in this being in New York? Again, I think it's a little bit easier here in Florida, right? Because we have more space, and I can go outside and it doesn't feel as crazy, you know. But in New York is different. I know Mandy is going berserk.
Ape. Yeah, I mean, for me, on a personal level, it hasn't shifted much. I have to be honest. I'm already a homebody. I'm someone that's pretty,
me too.
I'm like a natural social distancer. So I'm kind of in my bag right now, if anything. So it's nothing that has really changed my day to day. The only thing, obviously, business wise, we're affected because our tour is postponed. I had like a beautiful wellness retreat weekend that I had been working on for a year that was supposed to happen in June. Obviously, that can't happen because we're not going to have a retreat in the woods with a pandemic going on. You know, so business.
Actually, the woods would be a great place to go to.
I mean, maybe that'd be right. Go hang with the animals. You know, I think business wise has probably been the most affected that I've been economically. Right. You know, obviously our trajectory financially is going to shift crazy this year, you know, but personally, I can really say it has not shifted much for me. I am someone that always makes space for me. Like my schedule day to day, regardless of how busy I am, I don't speak to people in the morning. I tend to take my morning for me. I don't start work till noon. And yeah, so for me, I wake up around like 6:45 or 7. That's usually when my like natural body wakes up. And it's about me. Like I do my workouts, my breakfast, my tea, my meditations. I listen to music. I kind of get in my zone, like, you know, like feeling good. I have to wake up gradually. I hate the feeling of like you snap out of bed, go straight to emails. It just doesn't feel good. I felt that it would take my mind in so many different places because you're allowing other people to dictate what your day is going to feel like, right? By their emails, by their text messages, by their tweets. And so I realized
that's a lot of energy to take in.
A lot of energy to take in. So one of the changes I made a couple years back was just kind of taking my power back in a sense of what my morning would feel like so that I can dictate the rest of my day. So I already kind of had a day that was constructed that way, which is why this pandemic isn't really changing much in my day.
Right. I think for some of us, for a lot of us, actually billions of us, financially it's taken that turn. But I think this is the time for us to just really think about those things. What are we good at? What can we do on our own? And how can we monetize off of it? Like there's always something we can do. I saw Instacart is hiring 300,000 people.
Right. I saw that they're on strike today.
Well, you know what? I went to Publix and the only person I saw shopping was Shipped.
Oh, snap. Yeah, I was actually really glad that I had gone on Twitter because I was going to order some groceries. And then I literally saw someone from Instacart on Twitter saying, do not cross the picket line today, y'all. We're striking. Amazon, I guess Prime that delivers.
They walk off the job.
Yeah, so they're like, don't jack up our strategy by ordering nothing today.
Oh, so it's in New York. Yes. So the warehouse workers in Staten Island, New York, and Instacart groceries delivery workers nationwide plan to walk off their jobs Monday. They're demanding stepped-up protection and pay as they continue to work while much of the country is asked to isolate and safeguard against the coronavirus.
With no hazard pay, you know, like
that's fucked up.
It's just unfair. So I was glad I saw that because I for sure was about to order some bananas for my smoothies.
Listen, that's what we've been hearing.
Right. I was like, let me respect it.
They're asking for 3 changes. They want both workers from Amazon and Instacart want access to paid sick time off. At this time, it's available only to those who have tested positive for the coronavirus or get placed on mandatory self-quarantine. And Amazon workers want their warehouse to be closed for longer cleaning with guaranteed pay. And then Instacart grocery delivery workers are asking for disinfectant wipes and hand sanitizer and better pay to offset their risk. Is it too much to ask for hand sanitizer?
I was just going to say, there's absolutely nothing they're asking for that's unrealistic. They shouldn't even be asking for this stuff. That's the sad part.
There should definitely be something that's coming in with their welcome package to work. Here's some wipes.
Right.
You know, here's some alcohol. Here's some Lysol.
A new standard, yeah. This is a pandemic. I mean, come on.
Yeah, it really, oh, that sucks. Well, I know that I went straight into it. I'm like, hey, it's Fran. I've been wanting to do this with you. And I just realized, what if they don't know who the fuck Fran is?
Oh, yeah.
Where the hell did Fran come from? And I know you, like, I knew of Fran. And I had seen some of your YouTube videos. And, of course, like, I had listened to some of the Friend Zone. So she is 1/3 of the Friend Zone podcast. But who is Fran? Like, first of all, I thought you were, like, 19.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Because you're just, like, perfect. But, and they're like, oh, is she riding her dick? Yes, I am. Because I fucking love her.
That's so awesome.
Who is Fran? Where did you come from? Like, I probably don't even know about you.
I mean, I'm like... So I got on Tumblr. Shout out to Tumblr back in the day when Tumblr was like the it website. Do you remember? Were you into Tumblr at all?
I never used Tumblr.
That's so funny. So I came online in 2009. And
oh shit.
Yeah, I mean we'd been online obviously with like AOL chat, but I should say like my brand came online in 2009. And I was on Tumblr. I was going through a really terrible chronic illness with my kidney and had stopped using hair products from the store and kind of trying to figure out like what in my lifestyle is allowing me to be so sick, you know, my diet, just kind of like doing an analysis and assessing like how can I live a more conscious life, because clearly I was on autopilot, had been sick for so long and like just didn't really do anything about it. So I jumped on Tumblr and kind of kept like a weekly or even daily diary, just showing people the things I had figured out. Like I had learned to make my own shampoos. I had learned to make my own conditioner. I was doing like my own lotions and lip balms and you name it. We were having so much fun. People sharing their recipes of the stuff that they had come up with. We had people who were chefs being like, oh, you should try to eat this. And it just slowly became this really dope health and wellness and like conscious living based community. And then my friend, shout out to Francesca Ramsey. She was the one that was like, I think you should jump on YouTube. I think it would be a really cool transition to take this information and this community and create some visuals, you know, show them how you make the lip balm, show them. So when you started, it was just writing? Yeah, I was just blogging on Tumblr, and I was on there every day. And it became, I think, a community of like maybe 100 to 200,000 people after a couple. Holy shit. Yeah. So it grew really beautifully. Like it was so organic. Right. And organic. Yeah. You know, it was, I prefer to work that way where it's like, it's not by force. It's just like a genuine connection. And then, so I transitioned to YouTube. Of course I was mortified because YouTube is a scary place. It is. I was like, I don't know. But, you know, at that time, the whole thing of like being influencers and YouTubers, that was not a thing. It was us just having fun. That didn't start to like 2017. Yeah, like that was just not really a thing. We didn't have like the nice cameras and the software with, you know, the editing programs. It was just like jump in front of your little raggedy camera and talk about what you want to talk about. So, you know, I got in at a good time. Right when the natural hair boom was starting to kind of take off. So I jumped in. The timing couldn't have been more divine because I had this big natural curly hair. So I kind of was able to like bait people in with the hair. But then once they like followed me because they liked my hair or whatever, then it was like, okay, let's talk about your mental health. Right. Let's talk about your eating. And it was just like a more holistic approach to natural beauty. And you know, from that, the YouTube channel did extremely well. That was so much fun. And then I transitioned to podcasting. That opportunity came my way. The Friend Zone, we're about to hit 5 years. And then the HBO podcast Insecurity that I do with Crystal.
Yes.
12 city tours for my wellness, where I have practitioners that have helped me in my life. I've been blessed enough to have companies allow me to put them on a, large scale platform and travel the world. Right. We hit Jamaica. We were in London. We did that for like 3 years. It was incredible experience. So I keep evolving who Hey Fran Hey is and what my role in this wellness space is, and just kind of like staying open to whatever the new platforms are, whatever the new things I have to learn.
It keeps evolving.
Every
but that's
day.
One of those things that I think some people don't grow because they choose not to evolve with the times.
Right. Or they just feel scared. They feel scared that they think that their work may not translate to the next thing.
And being fearful, it's okay, but you also have to take risk.
Yeah, because like I said, I was born and fired of YouTube. But once I jumped in, first couple videos, it's like riding a bike. Like, you're on there scared as hell. You might fall a couple times. But after a while, you got it. And I found my rhythm and my wave, and my community started being it was created on YouTube. And I was so thankful to watch it grow, and the kind of lifestyle it has allowed me to have now, where I get to live creatively. Because honestly, the fact that we get to be home and also sustain financially, like, that's a luxury. It's a privilege. It's a blessing that I do not take for granted at all.
I can't. Some of these days that I'm sitting here at home, I said, I just made this shift in the end of 2018.
Right.
And although I am not anywhere close to where I want to be, if this would have happened to me in 2018, I would have been losing my shit.
A completely
I wouldn't be
different
this calm.
Experience. Yeah.
I wouldn't be wearing eyeliner today. I put on eyeliner just to do this recording, and I'm like, I would have never done this.
Right.
I would have been crying under my bed, like, about to go on OBT and sell ass.
Right.
Because, whenever I get freaked out, I'm like, I'm going to prostitute. That's it. I'm going to become a stripper. I'm going to do an OnlyFans page. That's it. But I don't have to worry about that. And some people are feeling how I used to feel back in the day. Like, I'm going to have to sell my ass.
Yeah. And honestly, that's a lot of why I have not gone online telling people, like, be calm. It's going to be okay, because I feel that way about my situation. I don't think that I have the right to, like, tell someone how to process whatever their situation is. I sure as hell would have hated that if I was, back at the possibility of losing my 9 to 5, and then you're coming online with your head wrap talking about it's going to be okay. you know?
And it's true, because
let people feel what they're feeling. Like, that's important. That's going to be what they need to learn and process and work through. And it's going to be different for all of us.
Because I think it's easy for me to say it's okay. It's easy for her to say it's okay. But we've been working on this. You've been working on this for over a decade.
Yeah. I just hit 11 years.
Right. Yeah. And I'm only in it 2 years. So I'm nowhere close to where you are. I'm still like this small, minute thing. But at the end of the day, it's like I hate when influencers, podcasters, YouTubers get on here and say, you can be just like me.
Right.
I try not to do that with my teachings. And it's like, I'm not going to tell you you're going to get to where I am. You can, but you have to work for it. You have to put in the time, and it's not going to happen overnight. So let me show you my journey, and my journey has not been overnight.
Right. And that's the most we can do.
Yeah,
that's the most we can do, is just show how we did it, in case people, like, if it resonates and they see, they feel like, oh, that's something that I'm interested in, I can do. I love to provide the blueprint, but I'm also not going to sit here and tell people that quitting their job so they could be a podcaster. Like,
that drives me crazy. I'll teach you how to start your podcast. I'll teach you how to monetize it.
Yeah.
Don't quit your job.
We'll give the tools.
I didn't quit my job right away.
Right.
Like, there's no way in how I would have been able to quit my job back then.
And everyone knows. Money. And think about it. We all know you don't make money from podcasting for a long time into it. Like, a long time into it. It takes a while.
I got pretty lucky because the ads aspect of it, it takes a while.
Yes.
I'm teaching people how to make money outside of ads.
Right.
Because, again, I'm around... this summer was really hard for me, especially with imposter syndrome, being around all of you guys and the whole podcasting world of New York, because you guys are top 1% of podcasting, So when I'm going in there, I'm like, I can't get there. You guys have been working for 10 years. This is not going to happen to me in a summer.
Right.
But I learned how to monetize with other things
in your
having
way.
just 10% of y'all listens, and I can make the same amount of income.
Yeah. And I mean,
But
it's a skill set that you're teaching. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And I think that a lot of people look at us and ask us, like, can you teach us how to podcast? And I'm like, I don't know that I could teach you how to podcast. Like, the most I can do is just do it, and then hopefully you be inspired to create your own.
Right.
But I love that you've created a platform where it's like, no, these are the actual logistics, like the breakdown of how to start.
This is how you should launch it. This is what you should do. This is how you record, have the best audio, all these things and how to do it. But then it's up to you and your personality. It's up to you and your hustle.
Right.
It's up to you and your consistency, whether you're going to make it somewhere, whether you're going to put on your business through it, who is going to listen. That's all up to you.
Right.
I can't help you do that.
Yeah.
But one of the things I wanted to ask you is from your 20s, because it was 2009, so you were in your 20s when you started Tumblr.
I did. Yeah, I was.
Your life has changed, and I'm glad that I actually asked you that question because I didn't know the whole health issues. I just thought you were just a health freak.
No, honestly, not at all. Like, I'm from the islands. Like, we eating Goya.
Plátano, chicharrón.
Bacalao. Like, we was going in, and then that's why it was kind of funny because most people assume that I'm just this like yogi, like super chill kid, but I'm like, I'm Dominican, Puerto Rican, and Haitian from Harlem. Like, I didn't grow up with this information.
Were you born in New York?
Yeah, I was born in Harlem. Okay. Yeah. Shout out to Carver Projects. And so it's kind of funny to see how much my life has changed because of the illness. Like, it literally created a new version of me that I had to accept. And I was really nervous about it at first because my family, they were like, girl, that's white people shit. Like,
literally all the time.
What you mean vegan? Like, you need to stop going to LA. It was like all jokes.
Not LA.
And then, me meditating and like burning incense. It just was funny trying to find my footing in a world that didn't look like what I was now into. Mm-hmm. But it's so interesting because now you look online and it's everywhere. Now it's all meditations. But when I started, I was kind of like one of the oddballs out. You
were an outcast, and
completely.
You didn't let that stop you. That's one of the things
that's the key. That's the key.
Do your own thing, and if it feels good for you, forget what anybody else is doing. I've been told a million times, I'm crazy. Why am I doing this? Why would I quit my job? Right. I'm pursuing something I'm not going to make money in. Or relationships, like, you're dating that guy? That guy's a whore. And I'm like, yeah, I know. Like, I don't know why I'm doing it either. Like, we were friends. But at this point, I think Charlamagne, they did an episode together recently, and he's like, no, he's saying, I'm serious, he's been faithful for it. I don't know how it happened. I don't know what made him make that shift. Right. He says it's me. I know it's me. He made that choice. I tell him all the time. But when you're going against the grain and what everyone else thinks is wrong, it's so easy to just give up.
Absolutely. And, I viewed it as an opportunity because I knew that I wasn't the only Black girl that was like doing meditations and like, if anything, it was just that white people were the face of it. And so I took that as an opportunity not to come out and be like, I'm the only one. No, it was like, I know we're out here. Let's carve these lanes so more of us can have access and opportunities. Like, when I got the opportunity to use the partnerships with the hair brands and the skincare brands that I'd been working with for, 8 to 9 years at that point, I was like, I want to do a wellness tour with all Black practitioners where we service Black women in cities that people do not go to. Like, we went to Vermont. When was the last time you heard a tour go to Vermont?
I had never heard of people of color in Vermont.
And there was, when I tell you, it was sold out within minutes because they were like, oh shit.
No.
All Black women, they were so thankful. They cried. I kid you not. They cried because they were like, y'all be forgetting that we're out here.
No, I have a listener, Ari, love her to that. I call her my little niece. She's one of my patrons. And she is in school in Reno, Nevada.
Okay, see.
So whenever I go live, she's like, you guys are my escape to people of color.
Because they just don't have that community. And it was so beautiful to do that and go to, we went to Denver, we were in Vermont, and I forget what other cities, but we were in, Toronto is different because Toronto already has like a big Caribbean population, but it was just beautiful to put that together because now those women are able to connect and create together because they know they're there, so it was beautiful to like put faces and names into the different neighborhoods they come from in Vermont and Denver, and now they're out here making their podcasts and their own tours, and they just needed a place to congregate. And so I kind of viewed my career as that. It's like, I want to give access to the people I believe in and kind of push the ceiling of, you know, what we are known to do and create as Black creatives.
And I think it's really important for us to create community and for you to insert yourself into a community. So if for you it's spiritual or religion or beauty or yoga or
fashion, makeup,
news, or comic stuff, whatever it is, insert yourself into a community where either you might not be a leader in it, but you have you become friends with these people.
Yeah,
and
you have access to their information
in your 30s. So I talk about this because in my shift, I'll be 33 this year.
Hey, so 33 is a good year.
Is it?
Yes, I love my 33rd year.
I said it's my Jesus year.
It's a good year.
This Rona better not fuck me up.
My birthday's in a couple of weeks, so it's gonna be a quarantine birthday.
Well,
but we're gonna make the best of it.
In a month. It's May 5th, Cinco de Mayo.
Oh, shoot.
And I know I have a friend that her birthday is St. Patty's Day, March 17th. So it's like, we drink for hers. We both have drinking birthdays, the same thing every year.
What is are you going to have to get on Zoom and like take shots?
I don't know. I'm like, come on. April 30th is cutting it close. I was making fun of people that had to like sit there at home for their birthdays the past couple of weeks. And now I'm like, this shit's going to hit me too.
Mine is April 24th. So I'm going to be in the same room that I'm speaking to you.
Oh, wait, are you a Taurus too?
I am a Taurus. Hey, gang, gang.
We're Tauruses.
Yes.
Now it makes a little bit of sense.
That's why I like to be home, girl.
No, it makes sense. But I never usually do anything big for my birthday anyway. I usually go to like Wall Street and go like bar hopping or something. I don't do like the whole big
party
thing. Or going to no, I'm too old for that shit anyway. This year I maybe wanted to fly out somewhere.
That's always the best.
Yeah, or do something with just a couple of friends. I don't know. Birthdays just aren't that big of a deal to me. They really aren't. But what is one thing you would have told like your 21-year-old self today?
Oh man, I'm trying to think like.
So we're going back. It's like being in your 30s now, like mid-30s, you're like, so much has changed.
Yeah, I mean, you know, most of us have had pretty rough childhoods, so I'm not saying it like it's exclusive to my experience, but up until I would say I was like in my mid-20s, my life was no crystal stair. It was challenging as hell. That's why now that I get to have like this, you know, I have this beautiful home, this beautiful career. I'm so calm and like I know how
What was so challenging?
Just my family, just a lot of dynamics that were just really unhealthy that affected me mentally, just a lot of abuse that I had to deal with physically and mentally. So things in that world that just made being home very unsafe for a long time. And that's why I love my home now. Like it just means so much to me to have like to come home and know that I'm safe. It's one of my biggest wounds in this lifetime, and so I'm thankful to have created the, you know, other version of like the fact that may have been the first 25 years of my life, but now in this next chapter, I've kind of taken that power to be like, it's fine. That's what happened. I'm not gonna be defined by it, and now I get to have this like home that looks exactly how I want it to look. I'm doing the career I want to have. Like it's just been such a blessing to kind of not be defined. And you chose
that.
And I chose it.
You took the power over it, and you didn't let it. I think some people decide to let their past define who they are.
Right.
And you can't do that.
Or
you have to sit there.
Yeah, and you know, and I think what I did for a while was that I just refused to look at it. And so you just bury it down and distract yourself with as many things possible, which is why I think this quarantine is so interesting because you can't run.
You can't.
There's nowhere to go.
There's nothing you can do.
There's nothing you can do. I mean, the beat battles are helping.
The DJs.
The DJs, you know, there are a couple of distractions, but for the most part, it's you and you and you in your house.
It's 24 hours a day, just like jail.
24 hours a day. So, you know, I think in a funny way, it took me to quarantine myself and self-isolate in those earlier years to really just process what I needed to process from that life and now come out of it on this other side where now I'm like, okay, that happened. This is what I learned from it. This is what I can do with it. That's why I've used my platform to focus on mental health, because I understand the importance of creating a platform to have these conversations so that people don't feel like the shit they're going through is just them, like the world is against them. It's like, no, most of us have had some crazy shit happen. Just because you don't see me, you know, wilding out or talking about it all the time, it doesn't mean that like it hasn't happened. It's just that I've worked through it in my way, and like I'm working through it, I should say, through these creative projects. That's why, you know, meditation and eating and wellness and all these things are just so important to me, because it's what has helped me get to this point.
Like, some people think that this mental health wave is now. It's been going on for a while. We just saw it with white people.
They were the face of it. Yeah.
They were the face of it, just like yoga and vegans and all that. It was a white thing.
Very whitewashed.
So we're able to we had to catch up with people of color and say, oh, there's something there. Maybe we can't afford it. Because I think they made it feel like it wasn't for us.
Of course. And it's funny because if you think about it, if you think about your childhood, everyone always had that aunt or that family friend that was like a little bit weird, but it's so because they were like, you know, into a different kind of lifestyle, everyone grew up around someone that was like the woo woo or hippie friend. So we have always been here.
Y'all have been there, and you created that for yourself. So it's like you weren't always like that.
No, I mean, I was always very introspective. That's something that, you know, even as a kid, my mom said she would put me to bed and kind of check in on me in the middle of the night, and I would just be in the crib just pensive. She was like, I've never seen a kid like that. That would just be quiet, just thinking, like not crying, not anything, like not playing with the toys, but just thinking. So clearly I've always been very reflective.
Right. No, I was always loud and talked too much, obviously. But I was always very independent. My mom would I remember her telling me stories years ago that they would look for me to put me to bed, and I was already in bed by myself.
That is so cute.
I didn't need anyone to put me to bed. I didn't need anyone to make me. I would figure everything out on my own. That's what I still do to this day.
That is
so
cute.
Even in a relationship, it's kind of hard because I'm like, I got this.
Right.
I don't need you.
Letting go a little bit.
Oh my goodness. This time around, I'm having to learn how to be like, let me give someone, you know, let me let them protect and provide a little bit.
Yeah.
But I also know that I got to be careful, because you're not just going to take care of me. You're not going to tell me what to do. Nope. No, sir. So what does family look like to you? Because I do want to bring up the fact that I think it's one of those like shockers to some people now in this era. You are not only healthy, natural hair, skin wise, but you're also celibate.
Yes.
And I knew about it, and I don't know where we were at the, oh my gosh.
I think it was the HBO premiere. Yes. Of the comedy sketch show, Black Lady Sketch Show. Right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, was that what it's called? Black Lady Sketch Show?
Yeah, the Black Lady Sketch Show.
Okay. So we're at the premiere and we're talking about it, and I already knew it, but you said 3 years, and I was like, but why? I just couldn't understand why. I'm like,
it's a fair question.
You know, I told y'all I had a 3-week hoe phase, and I just found the guy, and I just stuck with one of my hoes. So it was him. Kept him. And I'm over here like, I'm having all this sex. I've never taken really a break. I like relationships. But I said at that time it was 3 years. So you're saying you're coming up on 4.
Yeah, the summer
Why
before.
did you choose to be celibate? We don't see that. We now hear celibate as in like, I'm not getting any right now, so they think they're celibate. Right. That's not what your celibacy is. You can get it, y'all. She can get it. I'm sure there are men everywhere and women everywhere like, Fran, whenever you want it, we'll pay you for you to give us some. So why?
Honestly, I was just not single forever. Like, I have always gone from relationship to relationship to relationship to the next one. I always struggled with monogamy when I was younger. So I would be in a relationship, and then I found someone that I liked more, and I would just like be with him while with the other one, and then leave that one. And it's just like this really strange relationship that I had with relationships, you know? And my dad is this, you know, charming kind of terrible man that has a million women. So I picked up a lot of his personality traits and just his lens of love and of women and what it means to really like connect with someone. I am what they call what's the term? Oh, it's escaping my mind. It's an attachment term. Avoidant. I'm avoidant. Okay. I'm a dismissive, avoidant attachment style, which means that I'm very like out of sight, out of mind in relationships. But it was a defense mechanism. It's almost like I'm going to hurt you before you hurt me. Like I kind of prefer that dynamic. And then my grandma, my mom used to, they used to hype me up. Like, yeah, girl, don't get involved emotionally, date them, have sex, but like men are not to be taken seriously. They love that I was this like savage kind of player kid. They loved it. They didn't want to see me cry. They wanted to see me making men cry. They were kind of like living through me in a lot of ways.
Absolutely, because I bet you they were staying at home with their husbands while they're telling you to do this.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It was like their fantasy was being played out through their young granddaughter. And I was having fun with it, but, it took, of course, Taylor's oldest time, the one person that I really fell for. And he really just called my bluff and was just like, listen, this little act that you have of like savage and all this shit, he was like, I don't know what the fuck happened to you as a kid, but we're going to sit here. We're going to talk about it. You're either going to process it and work through it so I can connect with you how I want to connect, or just get out my face. Like, I don't do this. And I had never had someone kind of just like put it on the table like that. Like, I see right through you and I'm not having this. And it was amazing. He changed my life. We were together for 6 years. Oh, wow.
This whole time I was thinking it was something like negative with the last person.
No. He really just made me see myself, if that makes sense, and kind of see that I had a lot to process. And I had kind of been dragging people into what I hadn't processed, into a lot of my unconscious behavior. And I just didn't want to do it anymore. And it got to the point where it was like, I'm going to actually sit down for a second. I'm going to sit my ass down, And, it took me getting hurt a couple of times too. Because after me and him were done, I got in another relationship after that. And it was funny because I had almost gone to the other side of the spectrum. I went from like savage mode to them being way too open-hearted and not having boundaries and thinking like, I love everyone.
Love me back.
Just love me back. It's almost like my heart cracked open so much, but I didn't have any gates around it. And so then all the other critters came in and hurt my, and then it was like, oh shit, wait, no, you can't be like way too open like this either. So it was almost like I had to find my footing. I had to find that middle ground, and I haven't been able to do that until I took the time to sit down and ask myself some questions.
So what does that look like now for your future? I know, like, so you're single, you don't have any kids. Mm-hmm. What is your family future? Do you think about it?
I don't honestly, because I've never viewed kids or family as like a goal. Or like, it's never been a thing of like, I have to do this. It's always been a thing of, if that time comes and I meet someone that inspires that and we feel that way about each other, where it's like, yeah, let's get married or have kids. Mm-hmm. I'm very inspiration based. Like, it's never something that I put down on my to-do list. It's more so like, does this person make me feel this way? And then
do you know what you're looking for?
Yeah, at this point, I feel way clearer about the type of relationship I'm looking for. I do not want to continue this sort of dismissive, avoidant game I've been playing of like, who's gonna hurt who. I just trust that, I'm in a much healthier place because it's damn near been 4 years that I really sat down and and the funny thing is,
that's a long time.
It is. And the funny thing is, you can sit out and then still, when the guy comes, there's going to be a mirror that's going to be held up to like, there are things that you can learn, but so much on your own. It's going to be someone.
You're going to have new energy.
New energy come in to put all that work I've done to the test. So I'm excited.
I just spent 4 weeks. We didn't see each other for 4 weeks. And
wow,
I thought we were going to break up.
Yeah, I mean,
I didn't know what it was. It was just like, I need you around. Like, this is a long time. So for 4 years of nothing, it's just like, whoa. I saw recently that I think Sierra and Russell went live with Lala. Okay. And XO Nicole picked up him saying his 5 non-negotiables that he had for a woman. He's like, she needed to be a woman of faith. She needed to be a woman that loved hard. I'm probably fucking that one up. I know another one he said was she needed to already have her passion and like have her own identity. So he had all these non-negotiables. It was 5, and he was
That's
that
it.
person had. That's it.
Right.
There was no negotiating at all with them, and she had them all. So do you have maybe like 1 or 2 non-negotiables in a man?
I think the main thing for me is spirituality is big. It never was before, which is so funny. I didn't care about a lot of shit. When I really think about it now,
Yes.
These are questions I never had. I never asked people like about their goals.
Ever. You just you're cute.
You're cute.
You got some money, we can go eat.
We're attracted to each other. We have, our schedules align. We're in a relationship. It used to be that easy. But now it's like I'm paying attention to things like, what's their family dynamic? Mm-hmm. How are their, what's his dynamic with his mom?
Oh, that is so important. I don't think women understand how important it is to see the dynamic with a mother.
Because it shows you everything you need to know. A lot of men's wounds stem from that a lot of times. So that's going to give me a clear picture of what I'm walking into potentially. And as well, vice versa. He's going to see my dynamic with my parents and how wild that is, and get a very clear picture of the things that might come up for us in how we love and how we relate. So just like paying more attention to the subtleties and the dynamics that make up that person. And so spirituality is big for me because it also kind of gives me insight to what they're doing to process those things. Right. Do you have an actual do you have an actual practice? Is this something that you're prioritizing, or are you just kind of like going with the flow of where life takes you?
Right. I think you can manifest. I think that's been a word that's been used a lot lately. Mm-hmm. And it's one of those things that I've truly believed in, like manifesting the way you want to live, manifesting your relationships, manifesting your job. Yeah. You have to see it yourself before it actually happens, because you have to put the energy towards it. And one of the things that I speak on is that I knew I wanted someone that was spiritual and the same with Christianity. I grew up Christian,
I can understand that.
And I'm not a Bible thumper, and I actually hate them. I hate the Christians that are like, if you don't, you're going out. It's like not too much, but it's more the spiritual aspect than the religion aspect of it,
the consciousness of it.
Yes. So I spent the past 6 years in a relationship where he didn't believe in jack shit. The only for like about 9 months we went to Bible study, which I absolutely loved, but I knew he was only going to stay with me because he didn't believe in anything. And the last year of that relationship, I was doing therapy on my own. So although I stayed in, I was working on myself. Right. So that's why once I got out of it, it didn't feel like I had just gotten out of it. I had already grown so much by myself individually. Right. And that's so key. I let go of that. And now I know why I wanted someone who had a relationship with my daughter. Mm-hmm. I wanted someone who was spiritual. I wanted someone who loved me like unconditionally. I wanted someone to rub my feet. One of the things I said, I was like, I need someone to rub my feet. And in 6 years, I never got that. I didn't get it but I'm like, this is something that I need. Yeah. I need someone who will do it. And I had all these things written down. I would speak them out loud. I knew what I wanted. I would go to therapy and talk about it with my therapist. And she's like, it's okay that you want that. And I'm like, I might be asking for a little too much, honestly. And I was like, I want somebody that I'm attracted to. Like when I see him, I want to be like, well, little did I know that my friend was there the entire time for damn near a year. That. And I had no idea what I'm like,
that's the best too when y'all are friends first.
The absolute best.
Because that means they have the unfiltered version of you.
Literally.
Not your representative.
Not at all. Not at all. He can't lie to me about his bullshit, and I can't lie to him about my bullshit.
Because y'all know what the bullshit is.
Exactly what the bullshit. So when I look at him, I'm like, that smile means something.
I know it.
And then he's just like, wait, let me show you. I'm like, all right, cool. Like, I got it because I know what's going on in the DMs half the time because I used to see them myself. Right. So that aspect of it, but manifesting who you want to be with, and I think you're doing that, and when it comes, it'll come.
Oh, 1,000%.
I always knew I loved to be in a relationship, and I wanted a family, and I thought I didn't want any more kids until I found a person that I said, oh, I did all this time. I just
and that's what I mean. Feelings. It was inspired out of you. You thought you didn't want any. So that's why I would never say like, I don't want kids. I don't want this. I don't want that. I used to say that, but I've learned that that's not true.
It's not.
I want everything, but I also just don't want to put myself in a position where I'm in it because I wanted it, and it's not necessarily what's right at the time, Right. Sometimes people get married because it was on their schedule to be married by 30 years old. And so they're going to marry whoever happens to be there at 30. And I
was
just
there
didn't
a thing
that
you felt when you turned 30 that you didn't have accomplished that freaked you out a little bit?
No, honestly, I think what was funny was that you think 30 so old when you're young.
And it's not. I was
you
6
think
years
it's so
younger
grown,
than my sister.
Right? And then you get there and you're like, I'm hella young.
As fuck. I'm so young. And I'm just like, oh, my titties still perky. My ass still look good. Like, what you mean? I don't have that many wrinkles.
No, legit, you're such a baby still. And
right.
so maybe when I was like in my teens or early 20s, I thought that by 30, you know, we all did it. By 30, I'm going to have my husband and my house and my kids. But when I got there, I felt like I didn't really get in my rhythm as a businesswoman, honestly, until I was like 32, maybe 33.
Wow.
That's when
now I'm just not feeling like I'm getting into that rhythm.
That's the phase where I really felt like I knew who I was at that time. I was like gaining my confidence, even in little smaller details like, are you comfortable asking for how much money you want in a project? Those things all tie in together, like in the confidence piece as a woman, as a businesswoman. And I felt myself really coming into my own at that time. So it's funny to think that I thought that 30 meant that I was going to like be this grown woman.
Grandma. Okay, grandma. I used to call my sister grandma when she turned 30.
That is so funny.
I was 24. She turned 30 and I'm thinking, holy shit, you're old.
And I'm almost going to be 40. I'm going to be 40 in 2 years. And that's interesting to me because
that's
40
just crazy.
40 looks so old. 40 always seemed like
I don't know
so
if
grown.
It's the times. I'm wondering if it's the times that have changed or just your mindset changes with age. Because I remember at 20, 40 felt like grandma. Is it that times change or just now that we're here, we're realizing it's not really that old?
You know, I don't know. I think also people are living longer.
A lot longer.
A lot longer.
These creams, these
our lifestyles are more active, I feel. You know, like, so I definitely think we look younger too. Think about your aunts and moms and uncles, and they all looked hella grown when they were like 30.
I still see some though, because then I see some kids at Ayana's school where she's in high school, and some of them are like, they don't look at all. Because I think that generation, you're saying we're more active. I feel like that's our generation,
right?
And not so much my daughters. They're stuck behind that phone and computer. They don't want to go outside. We used to play outside.
I mean,
I used to go out walking, you know? I would go run. I played kickball. Kickball was one of my favorite things to do after school.
Right.
Go outside and play kickball. My daughter doesn't do that, and I actually don't allow her to go outside for too long.
Right.
Just because it's scary. So, yeah, it's one of those things. But we do look hella good.
I mean, no one ever believes me when I tell them my age. So I'm like, that's
why would
great.
They? Because listen, I probably should stop eating patitas de cerdo and shit, and I'll probably look younger.
I used to love those.
Girl, I just made it for the first time. My grandma makes it. Did you know that that's not... It's like a poor people food?
Is it? Is that how it's viewed? Because I used to love it.
So apparently, like, so my grandparents' parents, I believe, were still slaves in Puerto Rico. Mm-hmm. But that's the part of the pig that they would get rid of, like the feet.
So it was like the scraps.
So I've never made it before because who makes it when your grandma makes it amazing? Like,
right.
It's just one of those meals that you don't make. It's like grandparents make.
Right.
But she's not here. So I called her and I'm like, quarantine, what the fuck else am I going to cook? I'm so tired of the fucking kitchen.
Girl.
So I'm like, let me make pig feet. So I went to the store, did the whole package of feet, and it was $3 and something cents.
Stop it.
Girl, I bought two, $6.
Oh,
so I made all this pig feet. It's so cheap. So I told my grandma, I'm like, I thought this was expensive, like a delicacy that we were eating. And they're like, no, it's not actually.
That's so interesting. I got introduced, my mom's ex-husband, who was my stepdad when I was younger, obviously, he was from the South. He was from South Carolina. So he brought, and he cooked, you know, so he brought in a whole new diet into my life. Because I had the island from my mom, but then my stepdad had the Southern twist to it. So he had me eating collard greens and pig's feet and cornbread, and he brought in all that into my life, which I was very grateful for.
It's so good.
Yeah, but I used to always eat, and people would be like, yo, that's mad nasty. Like, I can't believe you like that.
No, I don't know why I eat it or why I think it's so good. The textures, when I think about it, I'm like, this is disgusting. Why am I eating it? But it just tastes so good. And it came out just like my grandma. So, like, chitlins, I love chitlins.
I don't think I've ever eaten chitlins.
You probably have. In Spanish, it's called...
But they say you would know because doesn't it smell horrible?
No, the way we eat it, it smells and tastes amazing.
Really? I always heard people saying that the pot smelled like death. Like, that's what you know if you ate
I
chitlins.
don't know what it looks like when it's being cooked. I just know when I get it from the store.
Oh, you probably missed out on the stinky part then, probably.
Probably, yeah. I don't know. I don't get that part. I get it once it's already about to get poured into the cup. And I eat it, and it smells amazing because it's like a sancocho. Oh, it's so good.
Never had it.
Oh, so good. I'll let you know what it is in Spanish. You might actually be able to find it at one of those Dominican spots down the street. But we're going to go ahead and move on to unsolicited advice. And this is a part where either I give advice to someone who asked for it and someone who didn't ask for it just because I feel like I need to give it to them anyway because I'm opinionated and I just feel like everyone should have my opinion.
And that's what we do.
That's what we do on this microphone. You're going to hear what I want to say, okay? If you don't like it, shut it off. But this one actually did come, and if you do want advice from me on Shit I'm 30 and whatever guest I do have on the podcast, I email shitim30podcast@gmail.com and I will read it. Okay, before we continue with unsolicited advice, I want to tell you about a new company that I have partnered with to help you. If you've been listening to me for a while, you know that my saving grace has been my therapist. I love her. I talk about her all the time. I've been in continuous therapy with her since early 2018, and I don't know how I would have overcome so much of my trials and tribulations without her. But I now have teamed up with BetterHelp, that's HELP, BetterHelp, to make therapy affordable and convenient for you. So if there's something that's interfering with your happiness or is preventing you from achieving your goals, listen, I'm a huge self-sabotager. I don't know if that's really a word, but I am. I struggle with awful anxiety. I have really bad imposter syndrome. I have ADHD. Okay, shit, you get the point. I have issues. But if you need help, I want you to use BetterHelp ASAP, especially because of everything that we're going through. So let me tell you a little bit about BetterHelp. So BetterHelp will assess your needs and matches you with your own licensed professional therapist. So you literally will start communicating with a therapist in under 24 hours. It's not a crisis line and it's not really self-help. It's literally professional counseling done securely online. So there's a broad range of expertise in BetterHelp's counselors. So whatever you need, marriage counseling or for teenage, anything you need counseling on, it's available that might not be available locally in your area, especially right now since we're quarantined and we can't even get out anyway. The service is available for clients worldwide. I know I have over 70 plus countries that listen to me, so it doesn't matter where you are. It's worldwide. You can log into your account anytime and send a message to your counselor. So you get a timely response with them. You can schedule a weekly video or a phone session with them so you don't have to sit around in an uncomfortable waiting room. I've waited before for a therapy session for a while and, people come out and it can be a little weird when things get delayed in a waiting room. So BetterHelp is committed to facilitating great therapeutic matches, so it's free to change a counselor if needed. So at any point you're like, you know what, that counselor is not for me, say no more. You're changing your counselor. That's it. So it's going to be someone that's just for you and it's matched to you. So it's more affordable than traditional offline counseling. And listen to me, this is the important part. Financial aid is available. I told you I'm not passionate about many things, but when I'm passionate and I love something, I want to share it with you guys. I used to pay a lot of money for therapy and now my therapist has transferred over and I'm saving a lot of money. At the end of the day, sitting there in an office is great, but this is our new normal. Our new normal is to talk to someone through a video chat and you need it. We need it. I need it, which is why I'm doing it. So visit their website. You can read some of the testimonials if you just don't want to hear it from me. They're posted daily. So visit trybetterhelp.com/30. trybetterhelp.com/30. Join over 500,000 people. Take charge of your mental health. Right now we need it, but with an experienced professional. And before you go there, you're going to get 10% off. Special offer for anyone from Shit I'm 30. 10% off on top of the fact that it's already like half of what I pay for one session. Literally. So I love the word literally. 10% off your first month at trybetterhelp.com/30. It's also linked in the description of this episode. If you have any questions, ask me. But check out the website and just let them know I send you by using trybetterhelp.com/30. Now let's get back to the show with Fran. But today it was actually a DM and it came from someone that has followed me. I think she's followed me for a while. I look back and she responds to my stories and stuff like that. So I'm like, oh, this is one of my Insta friends or whatever.
Oh, sweet.
So she sends a message at 2 something in the morning one day. And she's like, hey, this is weird, but are you awake? And I'm like, well, this is weird. When I wake up the next day, because first of all, I'm asleep by 10 o'clock, girl. 10 o'clock is late for me.
Same. These beat battles have been keeping me up, but for the most part, I'm asleep.
Well, now I've been up. I was up to like 2:30 last night, but it's just this whole my routine is changing, especially having wax here.
There's no such time as time or place in this quarantine.
Right. So it's just like you can be up all night. You don't really have to wake up in the morning. You can get it done whenever. Yeah. So I just liked the message, and I'm like, let's see if she said something, because that was weird. Then she does send me a DM the next morning, and she says, I DM'd you because I listened to your podcast, and I remember you discussing how you dealt with anxiety. I deal with the same thing. I live alone, and this quarantine has been making it worse, making me wonder if it's anxiety or depression. I feel super alone and don't know how to get myself out of this feeling. Reading, praying, meditation, working out, none of it's working. I'm super scared, and I don't know what to do before things get worse. My church is closed, so we only have live stream, which hasn't been helping much. In the past, I've gotten drunk enough to drown out the thoughts and feelings, but I'm really trying to, my absolute hardest, not to go down that road again, but being alone is seriously not helping. I was just wondering, hoping you could offer some advice or just a listening ear to help me through this. I'm sorry if this is weird. I just don't feel like there's anyone in my life I can depend on that'll understand.
Understandable too.
So understandable. And I can also understand not having anyone in your life to understand.
Of course.
That's one of those things that I can relate to for sure, because with my anxiety, I didn't realize that it was anxiety until late 20s. I was just crazy growing up, I was just, rebellious. Angry. I was always angry, and I didn't know what was going on. So when I would lash out, I didn't realize that it was anxiety coming up. So it took me a while to figure that out, and that no one else understood what I was going through. Right. Same thing with my father. I knew that it's definitely everything that I have. It's a inherited thing, but just no one knew what it ever was.
Right. And we didn't have the language for it back in the day.
There was no language for it. It was just, estás loca, you're crazy.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, and they would tell us to go pray it out.
Pray it out, which actually when she says her church was closed, I decided to reply to her and let her know one of my biggest things, and I don't know for you, and I want you to also tell me what you do, but journaling is huge for me.
Huge.
And I am very outspoken in the fact that I don't do it regularly.
I mean, yeah, I think most of us don't.
Right, because some people are like, I journal every day, and here's my journal of 365, and I'm like, wow, that is great, and I'm glad that you have that type of self-discipline to do it, but I don't.
Right, yeah.
I usually journal, either I had a really good day or a bad day, or I'm just sitting here, let me go ahead and put my feelings down. So sometimes it's a few times a month. Sometimes it might just be once a month. Sometimes that month I didn't do it, but then the next month I have 7 or 15 entries,
Yeah.
And I just went to therapy 2 weeks ago. I started going back two weeks ago.
Amen.
And I had downloaded, I stopped in like November because I got into this relationship. Everything was good. And then I'm like, nothing's bad, but I started getting panic attacks again. So I was like, I got to go back.
Yeah.
I downloaded an app for journaling because I was having it in my notes, but I also write business stuff on my notes, so I couldn't find which one was which.
Right.
So I downloaded an app, and she said, don't do that. And she had me download OneNote, the Microsoft OneNote.
Oh, sweet.
And she said that's what she uses because you can create folders, and you can keep it all separate, and you can't really do that. I mean, you can kinda in your notes,
but it's not as organized. It's not as like nice.
Yeah, she said you can color code it, you can have the folders, and you can open it from anywhere.
That's so cool.
So I did do OneNote. So I told her to go ahead and journal, and I did also send her my church because I feel like I hate churchy stuff. I really do. And the whole pray it out thing, hate it. Because the church has had this disconnect with mental health for so many years. I think forever.
Right.
It's like, you're crazy. You're going through mental health issues. Pray, pray, pray. Like, don't take your medication. Just pray, blah, blah, blah. And that's not how it really works.
And it's prolonged the problem in a lot of our communities. Because it's not that it's going away. It's just being suppressed. And that's why it's creating all these illnesses. And it's manifesting in people's lives in different ways. Yeah.
Yeah. So the month of March, my church actually had a whole mental health series.
Wow.
And he was very vocal. He's young. I think he's got to be in his 30s. from New York, and the way that he speaks, he's not preachy at all. He has amazing, relatable stories.
I love
And you
that.
don't even feel like you're at church. So right now they're live streaming it, but I did send her that. I said, go ahead and listen to it, because she said she's not connecting with her church, and I feel like right now the church is like, hope, 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 hope.
Right.
But then it's like, okay, well, what do I do in the meantime?
Yeah.
I was having a huge breakdown with my cousin recently, and I talked about it on the pod, because he kept telling me I had a whole breakdown. I called him, and he's like, just let God take control. And I said, what the fuck does that look like? In the middle of me crying, I'm like, what the fuck does let him take control mean?
Right.
I'm really trying here, trying to get back into this thing and trying to stop being a better person, because I do feel better. But what the fuck does that look like? So he talked to me about that, and this church talked about it. So I said to her, it's not going anywhere. We are quarantined. So for her to not drown herself in liquor, that's the worst thing you can do, liquor, at this point in time. Maybe some weed.
I mean, yeah, it's similar to church. It's just prolonging the problem. It's like, how much longer do you want this to be suppressed? And one thing that I give advice when people ask, like, what do I do? It's going to sound strange, but it is so helpful.
I'm so ready.
I speak out loud. Like, I narrate whatever the monologue in my mind is. Because sometimes when you say it out loud, it's almost like you're building a relationship with everything that's coming up, as opposed to like pretending it's not there. So I'll literally say to myself, okay, friend, like when I have a bit of anxiety, I feel, what it feels like, that heaviness in your chest.
Yes.
Where someone's like sitting on you. So when that starts coming up, I literally talk out loud and I say, Fran, let's talk. What is it that's going through your mind? Talk to me. Like, I almost separate myself. It's almost like I'm an observer on an observation deck. And I'm observing Fran. So it's like I separate myself. And then I ask myself, what is it that you're feeling? Let's talk about it. And I let all that come out. Is it a text message I got? What is it that it said? How is it making you feel? Why do you feel that way? What is it about this person? Is this a dynamic you might have to like assess? Like, if it doesn't make you feel good and it gives you anxiety on a daily basis, is it something you should be allowing access to your day? Like literally just sit with all, I call it the fishbowl, where it's like every thought is a fish just kind of swimming around in your fishbowl, and you just pick out the fish, assess it. And I feel like the more you build relationships with these thoughts, it kind of doesn't make them this scary bad thing. It's just like, we're always going to have thoughts. So let's learn how to hang out and like have tea with each other. Like sit down and talk.
I might have a glass of wine.
A glass of wine, But I just think it's like learning to befriend everything that's coming up for you. And for me, it's saying it out loud. Like for most people, it could be journaling. Like they need to just get those thoughts out.
I do talk to myself. There's times where you talk to yourself and you say certain things out loud. For me now, I have a partner that I speak to when I'm having like really shitty moments, especially parenting right now. I don't like her 90% of the time.
I get it. Teenagers.
Not only are we quarantined, she's a teenager.
Understood, girl.
Over it. I'm taking her tomorrow to my therapist, and she, by the grace of God, I was like talking to her, and she's like, you know what? Right now, when you come an extra hour, I won't charge you. Bring her in.
That's beautiful.
And I was like, holy shit! I damn near started crying.
Yeah,
she is amazing because her therapy got shut down. Because of the corona.
Okay.
So I was like, that's fucked up. Like, I really need you, especially right now.
Right.
So that aspect of it, sometimes I speak out loud, and when I'm speaking out, I'm like, that's so stupid. Why am I even thinking that? Why do I even feel that way? That doesn't even make sense. And then once I said it, I'm like, oh, it's out of my system now. We can keep going.
Sometimes you have to just say it out loud. And I think what's important too is to, when you say it or write it, ask yourself, how true is this? Because sometimes you can like, when you have those moments where you're like, nobody cares about the work I'm doing. And then you ask yourself like, look at all the people that do though, and that are commenting and showing you love. And it's like, why would your mind allow you to think otherwise when clearly that's not what it is? Like sometimes you have to just sit with the emotions, and I say sort through them so that you can see which one isn't true, which one is true. Sometimes they're not even yours. Sometimes it's the people around you going through things, and you're kind of like carrying it on you, and it's affecting your spirit. You know what I mean? Like if our friends right now, I might not be stressed about this virus. Someone else might be drowning. I'm going to take on their drowning. I have to learn to like be their friend and hold space for them, but also not like absorb it.
Right.
You can
And
observe
that's really
it
important.
and not absorb it, and learning to that's okay. I think sometimes we feel guilty, like I'm supposed to be down with you, you know, but it's like I can support you without being pulled in.
And there's some times where you have to just separate yourself completely.
I
was having this conversation.
If you can't handle it,
there's some times where a friendship, you'll notice that they are in a place where they're not going to get out of it, and you have to find a way to distance yourself. You might not have to get rid of the friend, but you definitely have to give the distance and be vocal about it and say, you know, I don't want you to feel like something's wrong with you or blah, blah, blah. But for me right now, this is what I need to do.
Right.
And put yourself first, because if you allow someone else's energy or what they're going to bring you down after you try to be there for them, it's not like cut them off right away. Oh, this bitch having issues, I'm out. No.
Sometimes I'm also clear about my capacity. Like, I actually don't have the mental bandwidth to help you with this, because I'm either I'm dealing with X, Y, or Z, or I really genuinely don't have anything to offer you to make it better. And one thing I'm not a dumping ground. Like, I'm not one of those friends that can just, you call, dump, you feel better, and you go away, and then I have all this.
I have been a dumping ground a lot, and I've had to learn how to just pull back from it.
Yeah,
because
and say that.
Drains you. It drains you.
That's why I love to ask my friends, do you have, like, time to hear me tell you this thing? Like, I'll ask them, like, can you talk right now? I have to vent. Is that cool? Sometimes it's just that asking, like,
right. And they might just tell you, listen, right now I'm going through it, and I probably won't be the best person to listen.
And that's that. And both sides have to respect that. And I think that's probably been one of the most helpful things in my relationships, for sure.
Friendships change that way too as we get older. I don't think we know how to have those boundaries when we're younger, and now in our 30s and late 30s, and as we become grown, we're like, oh, we don't have time for it. Let's speak and let's be friends for real.
For sure. Yeah.
So I hope that you have figured out. I did send her the link to the church, and maybe she can watch it, the live service. I don't know if that'll help her. Hopefully it does, but just don't drown yourself in alcohol if you're out there feeling the same way she does during this quarantine. You know, speak to yourself out loud like Fran does.
Yeah.
Journal, read a book. I think when you read a book, also you escape into somewhere else without having to escape through a drug or alcohol. And then this is another thing really quick that I've been doing is through my patrons. Once a month, we do a virtual pajama party.
That is so cute.
So, girl, we be here on Zoom, and we all have wine.
Oh, my God.
Some of them be drinking liquor, but we're not going to judge. So we have wine. We're in our pajamas and our robes, and we have different topics of conversation. And sometimes there's times that I zone out or something's going on, and they have created a community. So I told her, find a community also that you can join. Like we talked about this earlier too. Find something you can create. So I created that space just because a lot of women are home. We're in our 30s. Listen, it's hard to leave your husband and your kids home while you go out and do stuff with friends. Now you got to get ready. You got to find an outfit. You're going to come back home. You got to drive. Do you have to Uber there?
Right.
When we do it from our computer, right in our bed, kick the kids out for an hour.
Yeah.
And then once it's done, you close the computer and you're back to your regular life.
It's true. And there's a lot of online schools offering classes. Yes. Maybe there's a skill set that now you have time to put to use. Maybe there's a class in the college. I know a lot of the colleges are giving classes.
Yes.
A lot of the spiritual communities, like you said, your church, now they're streaming online because they know everyone's home. So
and they're doing amazing.
And they're doing amazing, you know, and I think also there's a directory. It's called therapyforblackgirls.com.
That's where I found my therapist. I talk about it all the time.
And then
that's why when you brought Joy on,
Dr. Joy,
I was like, I love her.
She's
because
amazing.
I found my therapist through her directory.
And that directory has changed a lot of people's lives. So if you feel like this might be something a little deeper than just like finding online community or like building a skill set, maybe there's something deeper that needs to be worked through and processed.
Right.
Definitely look into getting, someone who's licensed who can help you process these emotions. And so therapyforblackgirls.com, I feel like, they have a directory with different cities. So wherever you are,
some of them could be online. So you can find someone that you connect with and you can do it online. Yeah. I've done mine online sometimes.
And most of the practitioners that I know personally have all shifted to online streaming with their clients.
They have to.
So
they literally have to.
Yeah.
When I was in New York, my therapist would FaceTime me.
That's so awesome.
They would do it on FaceTime. Yeah.
I love it.
The best.
And I know it's not ideal, but at least for the time, it'll help.
But we're switching into the space that right now, this is our new normal.
It's true.
The way that I'm looking at you right now, this is our new normal.
It's true.
So I don't know what it'll feel like when we can all be like face to face whenever it happens. Hopefully it's not going to be a year from now, because that's going to be really hard for us to acclimate to being around people again.
We're going to be like The Circle on Netflix. Having parties in the chat. Send message.
That was such and then talking to the wall too, so they would send it. The Circle was a fun show to watch. I didn't finish it. I think I watched like 3 episodes, but it was really fun.
It's kind of funny when you think about it now, because it was foreshadowing what our whole next couple months are going to be. Because we were laughing at them getting dressed to have parties in their living room. Meanwhile, look at us with beat battles.
Literally getting dressed up. I saw someone that
with DJ Nice.
Up with his... One thing about the whole DJ Nice thing that I don't think people understand, and we talked about it earlier, where people want to be like you, or they want to start a podcast, and they're like, oh, but look at they didn't look at one, that DJ Nice has been a DJ for people, celebrities, for a really long time.
I mean, a long time.
Very long time. So he might not have had all these followers. Like, we saw that he grew like 1 million followers overnight. But what people don't know is the hustle he's been putting in for years DJing. And the day that he went viral, he was DJing for 10 hours straight.
Oh my God. And the thing is,
10 hours.
This isn't something that he just started doing for the quarantine. He always DJs on live. It just happens to be the right time, right place, which is what they say. You got to be prepared. So when the opportunity meets, the work has to be there. He'd already been doing this, you know, so it's like everything just aligned perfectly. That's why I was not surprised.
Perfectly for him. So it's just whatever your passion is, just start doing it, and the day will come.
Right.
The day will come. Some people get lucky and they get found on YouTube within a month. Cool. Perfect. But that's not the norm.
Right.
That's just the exception. But going into our last segment, which is my favorite one, because this is what I used to always get in trouble growing up for doing, and that is my shit talk. Talk a little shit. Always get in trouble for it. But day before yesterday, I woke up to do my little workout at home. I'm so not consistent with it. I'm trying to get Ayana consistent. But
it's tough doing it at home.
We're going tonight to around the lake to go run.
I love that.
To do something. So
You're
we're gonna
so
go outside.
blessed. You have a lake to run around.
Yes, we're gonna go to mine doesn't have it, but we're gonna go to a different one because they have like pull-up bars and benches to do like push-ups and stuff like that around the lake. Man, so Ayana will feel more like free to do all that and soak and wax. But I'm doing my little workout, and I just decided to put the news on. I told you I haven't been watching the news, so I'm like, let me watch it while I do this quick workout. And they were talking about the quarantine and people losing their jobs, like stay home, stay home, stay home. I get it. But there was this white lady. White people just always know how to like grind my gears. So she's talking. Everything at first was fine. She's like, we have to make sure if you're not an essential worker, you stay home, because some people, they go to their jobs, and she does this. And she puts jobs in quotations. You need to stay home. You're not just going out for your jobs. You're putting people at risk. And I'm thinking, immediately, I got so mad. Those air quotes, I wanted to go through the TV, and I was going to wait for it to play back again, because the news channel that I'm watching plays all day long. So I'm like, they'll bring her back up, and it's going to have her name, and I'm going to find this clip, and I'm going to go off on her. But then I was like, let me not. But I was really upset, and I said I'll do it here on the podcast, because she's using this quotation to talk about people's jobs. And these jobs is what feeds their families, what feeds their kids, what pay the bills. These jobs pay for medications that they need.
Right.
They have health insurance through these jobs, and billions of people, like we said on the Shit You Should Know, are getting laid off, are being isolated. They have no money. So these quote unquote jobs you're talking about, like, they don't have it like you, clearly.
Right.
And that's when you were saying you don't want to talk to people and say it's going to be okay. And it's because you're in a different mindset than the people that are right now are really suffering. Like, Wax right now thinks it's going to be the apocalypse, and he's bought ammo. He doesn't go anywhere without his gun. He's like, if you have food at home, you have to be scared.
Right.
Because people are going to be hungry. People are, there's all these things going on. This little $1,200 check that's coming in the mail ain't going to do shit for us.
Especially not in these bigger cities.
Not at all. What is $12 going to do for you?
Man,
when a hot dog costs $10.
That'll pay your car net bill, your cell phone, and Wi-Fi, maybe.
That's it.
Yeah.
That is it. And when you have children and you're home now and they're eating breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, you have to entertain them with a coloring book, or you have to find things for them to do. It gets really expensive. So I was just very upset at the fact that she uses quotation marks and just talked about people's jobs like it was nothing.
Right.
When the second, like, America works on paycheck to paycheck. It runs on paycheck to paycheck at the end of the day.
But I mean, look at these multi-billion-dollar corporations that just because we stopped working for a week are already asking for bailouts. So it's kind of ironic that she would be talking with the air quotes about people who are the essential workers, who are the backbone of the economy right now. We wouldn't have our groceries if it wasn't for them still choosing to go into
Amazon
work.
Drivers,
we wouldn't have our packages. We wouldn't have toilet paper. All these things people are scrounging for. So it's kind of funny that I've noticed that, like, the billionaires make us feel like, you know, we're at the bottom of the totem pole, but they have not handled this very well.
They are crying.
They're cracking. And it's only been a week.
Here in Orlando, the parks are closed. You know, all the airlines are like
the
crying
flights
like
have
babies.
Been grounded. Yeah,
they're having all this money, and I do understand that. People sometimes say, like, the whole bailout. Why do they bail out the big companies? They have to bail out the big companies because these big companies are what supply millions and billions of people with jobs. So it's a lot easier to bail them out to create jobs and income than it is to give each one of us 10 grand. That's just going to be gone in 2 seconds. What are you going to do after that money's gone? So if they bail out these bigger corporations, it allows for the income to keep coming in. Because it sucks sometimes, yes, but that's capitalism at the end of the day. But we work for them, and we need the airlines. We need the grocery stores to be open.
But the jacked up thing that's been happening is that they'll bail these corporations out, and they still lay people off.
Yeah, they do.
So it's the government thinks that it's going to be some kind of trickle down economics, but it never works. It barely works out that way.
So let's say whatever company, let's say JetBlue, right? Mm-hmm. They have 200,000 employees. If they don't get bailed out, we lose 200,000. If they do get bailed out, maybe 120,000 will come back.
Right.
So it helps the economy for 120,000 to have a job versus 200,000 to be out of a job.
Right.
So I think that's what they're looking at, like that big picture of, and I'm saying 200,000, but it's going to be millions and billions when all these big corporations
I mean, this is also unprecedented because we don't know how long this is going to last. So it's so what's the bailout? Is it going to be like a monthly bailout? Like, we don't know.
I have no idea.
It just seems like it'll be a massive depletion on all ends right now.
But I also want to say that karma is a fucking bitch because my baby daddy stopped paying child support in January.
Oh shit.
He got fired, and he decided he wasn't going to pay for it anymore. And I asked him recently, I said, listen, Ayana's home indefinitely. She needs food, activities. Like, are you going to do anything? He's like, when I have it, I'll send you what I can. I don't have an income. And I was like, all right. Keep in mind, he got fired from JetBlue.
Oh shit.
Long story short, his baby mama also works for an airline. Therefore, both y'all now, look at karma. Just 2 months after you sat here and tried to, like, play me out, both of y'all are basically out of a job now with a brand new baby at home. So karma is a bitch.
And I heard that for people that are not paying child support, you don't get the stimulus check.
Oh, he not gonna get shit. But I don't get it either, so I was pissed.
Right.
I was like, can y'all put it in my account instead, please, and thank you. But no, they're not gonna give it to me. But he does owe child support. So that is just karma will catch up. And I was just so upset. I remember as soon as it happened, I was on Patreon because he served me here in my house, and I was like, you piece of shit.
That's crazy.
Like, what are you doing? But karma is a bitch. So just remember that whatever you're going through right now, if someone's doing you wrong at this point in time, it'll catch up to them. It will catch up. Is there anything that has happened to you that has pissed you off lately? I feel like you don't ever get mad at anything.
I mean, I wouldn't say I don't get mad.
You just breathe it away, meditate, and keep it moving.
I'm very much one of those, like, I see both sides. I see all sides. I process everything from so many angles, I
need to get there one day.
Yeah, so that's why for me it's just doing the work of processing whatever's happening, because I don't like being mad. It isn't fun for me. I'll allow it if I have to be mad because it has, I'm human. It has to happen, but I'd rather process it than, like, sit there stewing. So I don't.
Yeah, no, I don't hold grudges.
Yeah,
when I do get angry, but the problem with my anger is that I lash out, I'll fight,
and then
then I'm good.
Yeah,
and I'm like, can we go eat now?
That's the best kind of anger, though, because that means you actually, like, allow it to come through.
I don't know, because when it comes through my fists, it's a problem. So that's what I'm working on again, because I got better, now it's getting worse again. So I was like, I gotta keep my hands to myself.
I guess my only thing would be, people, stay home so we can finish this quarantine.
Bro,
The
I watched
faster you
Snapchat
stay
yesterday.
home, the faster we will get through this and be able to be outside again. Like, come on.
What is so hard
Teamwork.
about this thing? Do you keep seeing house parties? Because I keep seeing house parties.
I saw one on Twitter. It was like a slip and slide. Did you see that? They were like sliding through the grass and playing like a drinking game, and it was like hundreds of people. I was like, oh my God, we're never leaving.
I never get on Snapchat, and I had nothing else to look at. Like, I just go through it all. So I went through some people's stories that I don't even know who the fuck they are. But they were literally like 30, 40 people in a house drinking, partying. And I'm thinking, you fucking idiots. We're never going to get outside because of you. Because
and it's unfair because we are honoring it and staying home. So it's making us have to stay home longer. Because then once they finally decide to, we already been home for like a month. So it's just like...
so stupid.
Just stay home.
Stupid.
That's my only pet peeve right now. Stay home because I would love to have had a summer. I really want to have a summer.
I know. You guys only have like 2 weeks of summer.
Oh, like, it's such an important season for New Yorkers. I'm so mad this is happening now. I'm like, why couldn't it have happened in the wintertime when it was like 10 degrees outside and nobody wanted to be outside anyways?
I'm glad that when I chose to leave to New York was last summer. I had the most amazing New York summer.
New York summers are unmatched.
You cannot pay for the experience of a New York summer.
And it makes me kind of sad, to be honest, to think that we just finished winter. Mm-hmm. We're not going to have a spring. We're not going to have a summer. Maybe a fall, and then go right back to winter when it's time to go outside again.
Oh my God. That's depressing. Yeah, y'all gonna
torture.
New Yorkers are going to spend a lot of money in Florida and islands.
Oh, I'm pretty sure the airline economy will bounce back just off of New Yorkers alone.
Like that. And as soon as this is done, I want to sit at a bar and order unlimited tacos. I'm so tired of fucking cooking. I am so tired of cooking.
I just tweeted that yesterday. I was like, y'all, I am tired of washing pots and pans. I'm over it. I feel like I'm only in my kitchen at home all day.
That's it. I haven't really been able to, like, I've done some of my business stuff, but it's like, it's so hard to focus because it's just food. And then by the time I'm done cooking, cleaning, and doing whatever, it's time for lunch.
Right. Already.
And I'm like, shit, I'm hungry again. And I'm sitting here cooking for like an ox and a baby ox. Like, these two, they eat so much. So over it. Okay, see, the frustration is coming back. Yesterday I was pissed. We had a bad day yesterday, but it's better today. Thank God.
Thank God.
Thank you so much for coming on. And what do you have going on? Where can they see you? Because I just stalk you just because I can.
I mean, you know, what can we say about what's going on? We're home.
Your stuff is canceled, but are you said you had a retreat, which is really funny because I'm creating a retreat for a wellness women's retreat for September.
Beautiful. That's
it'll be my first one.
That's amazing.
And I only want to do it with like a few people in like this house, and it's just to do stuff for us.
Yes.
Get away from the kids for a weekend and just do what we're going to do. But now I'm like, do I put a date on it? I kind of want to put a date on it so the flights are cheaper.
Right. Yeah, true.
So, and then maybe we can change it. But are you rescheduling yours?
Yeah, we rescheduled it to June of 2021, which is kind of
shit.
Which is intense because it's like, wow, that's a whole year from now and some change, really. So who knows what life's going to be in 2021. It's kind of funny to schedule that far in advance, but that's when it'll be. I know I have a wellness event with Essence that was supposed to actually happen next month. It was like a meditation event, a wellness house, as they put it. But obviously that's canceled. But they are rescheduling it for the fall. So hopefully we'll be able to travel and be around each other by then, because that's going to definitely come up. Yeah. And then, of course, the Friend Zone tour will be rescheduled to the fall. Hopefully we can do that. And lastly, Insecure comes back in a couple of weeks. So happy about that. It's going to be season 4, and it's going to be amazing. We already know Issa Rae does her thing, and the whole cast. It's so funny. So we've been waiting for over a year because they wouldn't come last year.
Forever.
So everyone's forever. And we're all home, so we're definitely going to be watching and live tweeting.
Can we get extra episodes? Oh, I'm asking. Can we please get extra episodes? We're home. We're just upset. We're going to tweet about it. We promise to tweet about it the whole time.
1,000%. And while y'all are tweeting about it, Crystal and I from the Read podcast will be hosting the official recap podcast that will be coming out. The Insecure comes out Sunday nights, and our podcast will be there Monday morning for you. So definitely check that out in all your streaming platforms. So yeah, that's all that I guess I can claim right now because everything else is up in the air.
Shut down. Well, thank you so much for coming on. And if you enjoyed this episode and you're listening, just please make sure to go on Apple iTunes. My podcast is not huge like Miss Fran Hey, Hey Fran Hay's in the Friend Zone, but I do say that podcasting, you guys as listeners helps us a lot. So just make sure you share the episode with your friends. Share, I would say, with your coworkers. Yeah, share with your coworkers now because they're at home. Like,
just share it on Instagram with the share this episode button. Send it to everybody.
Share the episode. I love when you guys tweet me or DM me that you're listening to it and let me know like your favorite parts of it, because when I know what you guys are enjoying, I can bring more content just like that again. And I really enjoy doing this whole thing. I talked about on live yesterday that I'm shifting into the business aspect of it a little bit more. I'm finding my passion through that.
So awesome.
So I might switch this platform. I thought about I'm just going to dead the podcast, but I love doing it still. So I'm going to shift this into people. What it was from the beginning, just people telling their stories about where they are and just keeping going. But I want to push more, my idea to launch academy and getting people to start their passions, whether it's through podcasting or a business or an online business, and just launching it.
Right.
Getting you from the idea to launch. But right now, it's definitely just podcast and bringing your podcasting online. Everybody has to bring their shit online at this point.
I mean, it's gonna be the new
wave.
No
choice.
Yeah, if you want to work and be embraced.
Because we'll be back outside at some point, but this can happen again.
Yeah,
if it's not Corona, it'll be something else.
But I also saw an article that was saying even if this does stop in June, there's supposedly going to be a second wave that tends to happen with pandemics that will come around December. So I don't know. That's an article that's going around. Who knows? This is so uncertain. So I don't know how much truth, we can put behind that. But it's something to think about, that it's not something that's just going to, we wake up and it's gone. Yeah.
It can happen again. So just prepare yourselves for it. And I will see you all again next week. Goodbye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for tuning in. And if you enjoy podcasting, if you've ever thought about starting a podcast, I do have an academy called Idea to Launch Academy. We have welcomed 22 new students this month alone, and we're only halfway through the month, which is absolutely a blessing. But if you've been thinking about it and you're not sure, I have a free training on how to launch your podcast in 30 days. The next one will be April 21st. I'll do another one at 7:30 p.m. You can register for it, free training, and you can possibly become another member of the Students of Idea to Launch Academy, or you could just launch your own with the training that I'm going to give you. I hope to see you there on the 21st of April at 7:30 Eastern time. You can sign up for the course or for the webinar free of charge on the description of this episode. Again, Idea to launch your own podcast, just like this one, just like Hey Fran Hay's The Friend Zone, in 30 days. So let's do that together. And I'll see you guys again, like I said, next week. Goodbye.